Now, when it comes to Drake, if you're ready to see how the Ice Spice Man's Iceman album is melting before it even drops, hit that like button and subscribe, because this one's wild. Drake's Iceman is leaking left and right, and the man himself is having a full-on meltdown. From the looks of it, he's on the verge of canceling the whole thing. Cupcake Karen himself is spiraling. Here's what's crazy. The narrative they want us to believe is that this isn't Drake's rollout plan. But let's rewind real quick. A snippet from Iceman, Episode 2 surfaced, where Drake tried to get tough by dissing DeMar DeRozan with some corny NBA bars. Instead of sounding hard, it came off straight embarrassing, especially for someone fighting to save his career. At first, people thought Drake dropped the snippet on purpose to test the waters. But after hearing him call Aiden Ross live on stream, freaking out, emotional, begging for answers, it's clear this isn't a gimmick. The leaks are real, and he's losing control. And here's where Kendrick Lamar looks like a prophet. Remember those bars about Drake having leaks and moles in his own camp? Well, fast forward to 2025, and Drake still can't keep his own music under wraps. Iceman was supposed to be the album that saved his legacy, yet his Karen clown self couldn't keep it locked down. That's beyond embarrassing. Makes you wonder, was Kendrick hinting at something deeper back in 616 in LA? Could OVO really have someone on the inside actively sabotaging Drake? Because once again, his own circle looks shaky at best. Now here's the weirdest part. This leak didn't come from industry insiders, hackers, or rivals. The music landed in the hands of a random group of streamers called Bag Work. Nobody knew who they were, not even Aiden Ross. Suddenly, they're spinning unreleased Drake all weekend and claiming they've got the whole album ready to drop. From what's been played so far, we've already heard songs with Pressa and even some Playboy Carti vocals floating around. So either Bag Work stumbled on a goldmine, or somebody close to Drake handed them the keys. Either way, it's ugly. If I was Drake, I'd be scrambling too, because the leaks are just starting, and the damage is already massive. Beyond the music, here's what we know for sure. Drake wants us to believe he's furious about Iceman leaking. And look, if this was any other artist, we wouldn't even have to question it. But this is Drake. The rollout king of gimmicks, the man who'll fake beef, fake tears, fake anything if it means clicks. So you can't help but wonder, is he really mad, or is this all part of the play? But then came the Aiden Ross call. And bro, that was bad. Drake hopped on Aiden's stream sounding like full-on Cupcake Karen mode, whining, ranting, repeating, "This is crazy," like a broken record. He was cursing, stressing, asking who these streamers even were, while Aiden was just trolling him like, "Yo, send me the song." It was hilarious but also sad. Because when you hear it, you don't hear some master manipulator. You hear a man melting. And that's the irony. Drake is hard to trust because he's done shameless rollouts before. But his raw panic on that call? That felt real. Which makes me think this isn't just him pretending. He really did let these songs slip into the wrong hands. Whether it was his own carelessness or someone inside OVO, the bag got fumbled. But here's the twist. Just because he's mad now doesn't mean this doesn't help him later. Think about it. Iceman has been a disaster rollout. Every single, every episode, bricked. Nobody's checking for this. The optics were already at rock bottom. This album was on track to go triple aluminum. Now suddenly, with leaks hitting the net, Drake has the perfect out. He gets to cry victim, blame the leaks, and hit reset. He can tell his fans, "Yo, the project was ruined, I gotta delay and start fresh." And instead of owning up to dropping his worst record ever, he can hide behind the sabotage excuse. Honestly, this might be the first time in history a rapper benefits from their own album leaking. But here's the bigger picture. Drake's openness, his childish Pinocchio lifestyle, as he tries to live like he never grew up, is catching up to him. He shares too much, moves too sloppy, and surrounds himself with people who clearly can't be trusted. Whether it was him, a girl he sent the songs to, or someone in OVO, these random streamers called Bag Work ended up with one of the most important projects of his career. That's insane. And if Kendrick's bars about moles in OVO weren't just rap lines but actual truth, then Drake isn't just fighting leaks. He's fighting the fact that his own camp might be the biggest op of all. Drake got caught up after showing it to the wrong person as well. Overall, without trying to speculate too much, the most definitive takeaway here is that despite everything that has already happened, every single thing that has made him look worse and every negative situation tied to OVO, Drake continues to surround himself with some of the most incompetent and least respectful people in the industry. These are the very people who are supposed to work for him, protect him, and support his career, yet they act carelessly and selfishly. Now, one of the biggest rap songs that could have potentially dropped, given the impact it might have had, is in jeopardy because of this. Instead of controlling the release, Drake's work has fallen into the hands of troll streamers, who are now using it to push their own schemes. If the lifestyle Drake prides himself on has led to his work being destroyed like this, then in many ways, it feels perfectly on brand for him and the circle of people he surrounds himself with. So while it's not exactly surprising, it's still sad to see. At this point, the Drake Iceman album is being held up by unknown streamers, people Aiden Ross himself doesn't even know. There's no other way to frame it. Drake's entire project has been compromised and damaged in countless ways. And if this isn't part of some planned rollout, which it doesn't seem to be, based on the optics and his call with Aiden Ross, then this is indeed a genuine leak. For any artist, having your work released without your consent, especially when the intent is to sabotage, is devastating. No matter how you spin it, it's bad. And even for Drake, if he did this deliberately, I would still say it's a terrible move. Out of respect for the art and craft of hip-hop, I could never endorse such loser behavior. But let's not forget, Drake himself has leaked other artists' music in the past. For example, he released Life of the Party with Andre 3000 during the CLB vs. Donda era. OVO fans even celebrated when the Clips album Let the Lord Sort Them Out leaked just before its release, likely undermining its rollout and sales. Drake's fanbase laughed and tried to humiliate Pusha T and Malice when leaks happened to them. Yet, as Push and Malice have shown repeatedly, words and actions always carry consequences. Now, the tables have turned. The Clips, who, by the way, just delivered one of the most quotable hip-hop albums in years, stood strong, while Drake now looks like a leaking loser for allowing this to happen to himself. Beyond disrespecting the medium he creates in, he failed to protect his own art. Instead, he sent it around carelessly, the same way he might send out mirror selfies to fans. No one should be surprised that it backfired and left the Iceman album nearly melted before it even dropped. And ask yourself this: why doesn't this kind of thing happen to Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, or Tyler, the Creator? Why not to any of the artists who focus on the music itself and carry themselves like professionals at the highest level? The reason is simple. They don't move recklessly in giant studio sessions, nor do they waste time clout chasing with random streamers instead of focusing on their craft. Now, Drake's antics have caught up to him, and he may be forced to cancel an entire project. Symbolically, it feels like karma. After all, how can you leak other rappers' music in the past, laugh when your rivals suffer the same fate, and then expect protection from the very chaos you created? Drake once laughed at leaks happening to other artists, but now it has come full circle on him. What's strange is how this compares to past leaks in hip-hop history. When Eminem's Encore leaked, or when Nas's I Am, the autobiography leaked, both had to scrap or redo large portions of their albums, sometimes nearly the entire project, even while they were in their prime. These were albums expected to be classics, and the leaks destroyed what could have been genre-shifting moments. For Drake, though, the situation is very different. While he's mad now, deep down he knows this actually benefits him. Depending on how things unfold, he has an excuse, one that gives him more time than ever to finish the Iceman album. In other words, Drake has effectively reset the shot clock once again. We're now at such a low point in his career that even a disaster like this, one that ruined an album, still works in his favor by buying him time and allowing him to dodge responsibility for releasing it. Given who Drake is and how he moves, especially after his meltdown with Aiden Ross went viral, you can bet he'll spin this leak to his advantage however he can. As things stand, the most likely outcome is that Iceman will either be cancelled outright or pushed back indefinitely. The only real indicator left is how the third single performs, since that's all his team has to cling to now. This moment will reveal whether Drake uses the leak as an excuse to scrap the record or postpone it indefinitely. But let's be clear, when you hear Drake whining about this or see his fanbase pushing conspiracies to shield him, understand it for what it is: lies. Cupcake Karen knows the album is destined to flop, and this is his way of distracting and running from it. Nothing has ever been more obvious. So, What do you think about Drake being forced to cancel the Iceman album and everything surrounding this mess? If you've made it this far, I want to thank you. Channel memberships are now live, and your support means the world. Members get cool perks like shout-outs at the end of videos and exclusive comment features. And before we wrap up, don't forget, hip-hop is still alive and thriving. Just before this, Drake was dissing DeMar DeRozan in a strange snippet, sneak dissing other rappers, and even lying on Kendrick in a new doc about Magic City. Meanwhile, the clips are out here making hip-hop history with one of the most beautiful cultural moments I've ever seen. Right now, while Drake's albums are leaking, the best rappers are winning. Check out the suggested video if you want to see it for yourself.